What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone for a quick live show, a quick live update on obviously Chiesa, because that's basically the biggest talking point of the day. Will be the biggest talking point, in my opinion, um, just ahead of the Euros, because we created a situation as a club where um, we didn't deal with his contract situation properly in advance. Kind of reminds me a bit with the Dybala one. Only the Dybala one was a step, like a level weirder than this one, because with the Dybala one we was like, okay, we will go into the new season with 1 year left, or like with a couple of months left on his deal basically, and we will see how that will go throughout the season. You know, the difference is now he has 1 more year, you know, or like that decision is not been made, you know. But with Dybala, it was the end of the season. We will talk in September once the mercato was closed, and everybody thought, yeah, they will find an agreement, you know. I remember when the news first came out on Chiesa that the club met with his agent. I think it was November. Somebody correct me. October, November. I said it was good news that you're in it, you know, very early. Then it was January. I was like, okay, now it's worrying. Now it's very worrying because you don't hear anything about it. You know, there was a first meeting in October, November, and then it was gone. You know, it was completely gone in January. I was like, okay, this is worrying. And then towards, I don't know, March, April, I was like, this is not looking good. Now, I still believe that he will sign a 1 year deal, but I wouldn't be shocked at all if the club moves him on. Like, I wouldn't be shocked. And why I wouldn't be shocked is because of that 1 year deal. I think he will sign, because the only talk at this moment in time is not a long-term deal. It's a 1 year deal, bridge gap, you know. So because he promised the club, I will not leave on a free, and maybe we can figure it out when we have more time, basically, to talk this over. That's why I'm like, okay, if it doesn't happen, I'm not shocked, because that's kind of a basis of a weird kind of marriage. If you believe in Chiesa, if you're the club and you believe in Chiesa, that he is a key player, that he will be a key player from now until the end of his contract. Let's say let's say you're in talks for a 4 year deal. I don't know how old Chiesa is by head. Somebody let me know. Is he 27? Is he 28? You know, so let's say you give him a 4 year deal. Let's say you give him a 4 year deal and he plays until he's 30, 31 for the club. If you believe that he's going to contribute good enough or enough, he's 26. So is he 27 this season? Um, if you believe as a club that he has all the tools and he has a potential and still the belief in itself, or whatever, the talent, whatever you want to call it, to make a difference in the next 3 to 4 years, you give him the deal. You're not haggling over a million or two. If you're convinced that he is the guy that's actually going to take you to the next level, that's going to be part of the new Juve you're trying to build, that's going to be part of a winning environment, a winning team, you get that deal out of the way. You get that deal out of the way in advance, not just now, you know. But the fact that that doesn't happen or hasn't happened makes me pause a little bit, you know. And I think Corriere dello Sport kind of jumped the gun a little bit, you know, and they were like, okay, they made an entire calculation on the club will save so much money if they sell him for this, and this. But hey, if they sell him for 50 million, they still make a profit. They made a calculation purely based on the bare minimum the club needs to make to not make a loss on Chiesa, basically. That was basically the basis of the story. On top of the fact saying that, okay, the club decided there's no agreement to be found, the club is going to move him on. Now, I wouldn't be shocked. Again, Mirko Di Natale came in and he kind of balanced the news a little bit, saying that, you know, the issue still remains. It's not the willingness, like he wants to stay and the club wants him to stay. However, the issue is the wage. Basically, it's a wage, and if an agreement is not reached, the club will obviously consider selling him, but not for 15, but close to 40 million euros. Now, when the links are there for Roma, I'm like, okay, they can like him, but the club still needs to get his money. So that's absolutely no to me. And are Roma willing to pay him that wage? We are not willing to pay him. That's it. It's wage. Like, it's the wages that's the sticking point. Um, not really the fact that the club doesn't want him to stay or he doesn't want to stay at the club. It's purely the wages. So it's a financial issue, which is to be expected. Like I said it in October as well. I don't care if he's playing. Like, his agent, he doesn't care if Chiesa's having a good season or not. He knows he will have other option. He knows Vlahovic is on 12 million. He knows Rabiot was gonna sign on 7.5 potentially. That agent, Ramadani, who's a top agent as well, even if you're not a top agent, if you're just a half decent agent, you're not an idiot. You know the wages other players in this club are on. So they will use that against the club. That's why when there's talks about a new Rabiot contract on 7.5 million, he's not a 7.5 million player. And on top of that, I don't care if it's a degree, growth degree rule they can use as a club. Agents will look at that and they will tell the club, you have players on 7.5 million who are not as talented as my client. So what are you going to do about it? That's why I don't like certain type of deals they're trying to do. But it's a wage thing. It's a wage thing as of now. So Corriere dello Sport kind of jumped the gun, but it was it was going overboard in my opinion a little bit. Let me see. If you lose Chiesa, we're effed. Chiesa is world class. If you can see then our club is running. Okay. Chiesa's not world class. I don't know. I like Chiesa, but I don't know what people think about world class. Like, world class for me is Mbappe, Vinicius Junior. That's world class. That's world class players. Chiesa is not on that level. Chiesa is never world class. He never was, and he never will be that. He can be a very good player if he's on it, but he's not a world class player, and he will never be one. And I like Chiesa, but I'm not gonna say that because I think that's crazy in my opinion. Unless you have a different definition for world class, then maybe, but he's not world class to me. I can't see anyone spending more than 30 on Chiesa. You might as well keep him. You might as well not, because if you don't sign the deal, you're not even getting 30 million at the end of the summer, at the end of next season. So you're going to need to recoup your money. And according to calculations, we need about 18 to not make a loss. So even if the club is not getting 30, they will move him on. They're not going to let him walk for free. That's not going to happen like Dybala. The club will cash in on whatever they will get. However, if he gets an offer from the Premier League, I think we can easily get around 40 million euros. If you're a decent club, doing your job, you should be getting 40 million euros or close to that, in my opinion. Sell Chiesa and keep Sule if this happens. Juve are okay. You're not a fan of Sule and you're a big fan of Chiesa. I hate seeing the Savio links. Does Tuttosport know that man said he bought him? Yeah, I'm also confused with those links. That's why I didn't really bring him up, because I thought he was going to Man City and they kind of own, like, it's the same club basically. So yeah. No single club in Italy will give him that salary. Only Juve and Inter, but Inter is not possible. That's my point a little bit, So I'm not really sure about that. I've never heard of Rabiot getting other offers. Why are we spending so much on him? He has no leverage over us. Yeah. I have no explanation for that as well. I have no explanation. Is Allegri world class? I don't know. I don't care. It's irrelevant to this point. Let me see. Oh my god. Yeah. Give me one Juve player that can dribble past players the way Chiesa does. I'm not sure what your point is right here, because I think we all acknowledge that he's a good player, but I'm just saying he's not world class. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend Chiesa is a world class player, because if he's a world class player, if we view Chiesa as a world class player, we have a massive issue. I like him. He's a very good player, but man, I've seen Real Madrid play. I've seen the players they sign. They have world-class players. Man City have world-class players. We do not have world-class players in the squad. You might think we have world-class potential players in the squad. Fine. But world-class at this moment in time, we have none of them in our squad. It's as simple as that. But yeah, on that one, Chiesa, again, that should be a deal that, or like, not, yeah, there should be a deal that should be sorted out before the Euros. Before the Euros, you should know if he's gonna stay or if you're gonna need to put him on the market, because I think it's the ideal moment. If you're gonna put him on the market, if you're not gonna find an agreement, the Euro is the best way to put him out there. If he has a smashing Euro, you can do an excellent job by selling him. But also, to improve, you need to replace Chiesa. I know a lot of people are talking about Sule. I still don't see them selling Chiesa and keeping Sule. I think both are gone, or like I think Sule is gone. Whether Chiesa is going to stay or not, I think if Chiesa is going to leave, both are gone, because I think Sule are gone. Sule is gone anyway, Okay, people are talking about dribbling. Okay, pure, like, I don't know what people think, or like I don't know what the bar is for dribbling, because Chiesa is a type of player that actually runs towards people more so that, or like, and tries to go past them using his speed a little bit, and being a bit stubborn at times, and really pushing for it. Whether if you look at a player like Sule or Yildiz, they have more like real, like, how do you want to call it, like dribbling ability, technical flair, dribbling ability. Like it's more from standstill that they can do that more so than actually like Chiesa does, and running towards people and skipping past them. So it's a different type of playing style, in my opinion. You cannot really compare all three of them. I think you can compare Yildiz more so with Chiesa on that point, dribbling wise, because Chiesa is just pure speed and trying to skip past players with a dribble, but not really like dribble from standstill. I think that's more for Sule, and especially Yildiz, in my opinion. Yeah, but what I was saying on Sule, I think he's gone. No matter if Chiesa is gonna say yes or no, we need to replace Chiesa. I've said it 1,000 times, and it's for me personally. I don't have a connection with these players. I like certain players, but if I wake up tomorrow and they're like, we're selling Chiesa, I will be like, fine, let me see which option you have to put out there to say, okay, we're gonna replace Chiesa with player X, and player X is a good move. Then I can say, okay, you know what? We can sell Chiesa, because the player we're going after that, I can see him fit in the squad, But at this moment in time, there are no options, It's selling Chiesa, apparently, and that's about it. If the idea is, and I'm just making stuff up right here, if the idea is we're selling Chiesa, but THIAGO MOTTA wants Zirkzee, and he wants him using between the lines, and he's going to play Vlahovic, and maybe he's going to use Yildiz, and it works, and that's the idea, I can live with that, But not sell Chiesa and then be linked with players like Berardi or Zaniolo and whatever, and those type of things. Those type of moves will piss me off. But I don't see anything right now. So selling Chiesa at this moment in time is confusing, because there's no alternative. Or like there's not even an alternative rumor, a decent rumor, excuse me, to put out there and say, okay, maybe selling Chiesa is not the worst case scenario. But there's no rumor out there. It's just worst case scenario. You're going to lose Chiesa, and that's about it for now. Obviously, they're going to replace him, but for now, there's no replacement being mentioned. So it's all chaos, like the title of the show. It's all chaos. It's like, okay, Chiesa's going to leave, and what now? What are we going to do? That's the issue right now. I think for most of the people, I think everybody, when you woke up and you saw the news, you read the news, everybody was like, oh man, here we go again. Chiesa's gone, and what now? but you need to let it simmer a little bit. You know, I think if this goes into the direction it's going right now, that Chiesa is gonna leave, you know, according to the media, then a couple of days, a couple of weeks, you will hear the replacements, you will hear the idea the club is trying to paint, you know, trying to establish, build, set out to replace Chiesa and to move forward. And maybe then it will make sense, or it will make absolutely less sense. You know, who knows? It's a club still. People are, oh my god. Okay. I see you always post Chiesa face memes on Twitter. You must have some sort of connection. Low. No, it's just funny. It's just funny. The problem is not selling Chiesa, but if the replacement are the likes of Berardi, oh, that's what I said. We are in big trouble. Almost 10 years at the club, you couldn't replace Vidal, Pogba, and Palmer. Yeah. If you replace him with Zirkzee, I will be disappointed. I've not seen enough of him, but from what I've read, it's more of a backup-ish role rather than a starter. Chiesa has 1 year left and no new contract talks. He's leaving. Yeah, like obviously if he doesn't sign, he's gone. Hanina saying, I wanted him to say for sure. I don't get why you think saying he's not the best. Okay, you're still fighting. So go on. Let me see. From all the wingers we have been linked so far, there isn't one where I say, oh yeah, he's better than Chiesa. Put the names we've been linked with in the chat, you know, the wingers, because actually I might be blanking it out. And people hit the like button, smash the like button. Only 17 likes, which is kind of sad. So hit the like button now. But put the names we've been linked with to quote unquote replace Chiesa in the chat. But because maybe I'm blanking. Maybe I'm blanking it out. Like I'm talking on this channel and you know daily, and I'm talking about Di Lorenzo and Rabiot's contract extension more so than how are we gonna replace Chiesa, because in the back of my mind I was like, okay, it's not good that Chiesa's contract situation is what it is, but I was not really going with it. You know, I was not really going with it. You know. Savio, yeah, okay, I saw Savio, but he's going in City. Zirkzee, I've not seen enough of him, you know. I just saw highlight clips and I read a piece on Scouted, and that's about it. But by what I've seen and read, it feels more of a backup, you know, rather than actually a main guy. So I could be wrong, but I've not seen enough. Zaccagni, well, he's saying Greenwood. I'm not going to comment on that. I'm not going to lie. Never did on the channel. Refuse to do that, to be honest. I've seen Savio, Greenwood, yeah. Chiesa will sign. Who would I replace? Zirkzee, Gudmundsson. Yeah, Gudmundsson feel again in like Gudmundsson we are being linked with, but I don't see the club. Like I would be actually kind of pissed if the club pays 35 million apparently for Gudmundsson. Also, I don't think he's not really a winger, is he? Like he's more of a striker, and even like when I look at him, like. It's more of a backup to me. I don't know. Like, I don't want to disrespect him, but it's more of a backup. You know, same. You know, only a backup that's extremely expensive. Let me see. Zirkzee. I will talk about Zirkzee in a second. Do you think they're looking at Greenwood to replace Chiesa? I refuse to believe that news. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think the replacement will be a winger for sure. Again, Zirkzee. We'll come to that in a second. Gatti is more a winger than Gudmundsson. Yeah. That was a good comment. I don't think the replacement will be a winger for sure. I kind of agree, to be honest. I think if the club gets green light that Chiesa is gone, let's say next week, a big offer comes in. I'm just making it up now. Aston Villa, they are ready to pay 40 million euros for Chiesa, close to, and the club's like, okay, Chiesa, we're not going to find an agreement. Do you want to play in the Premier League? Excuse me. And Chiesa's like, yeah, I want to play in the Premier League. We can make that deal happen. You know, it's not going to work out here. Let me take this jump, or like this step, jump, whatever. I think the following week you will hear pushing for Zirkzee, because I have the same feeling. I have the same feeling that we're not really going to replace him with a winger if Chiesa's gone. I have a feeling that we're gonna do something different because of the likes of Yildiz in the squad, because of the likes of Zirkzee out there, and MOTTA has worked with Zirkzee. I have a feeling that we're not gonna do a like for like, because the names being linked, the names you put in the chat right there, some of them are not realistic. In terms of Zaccagni is going to sign a new deal, Savio probably going to Man City. Gudmundsson is more of a striker. There are no links out there. There are no links, so that's why I'm like, okay, if Chiesa's gone, I have the same feeling. I said it many times that we're gonna do something different. We're not really gonna go for a left winger because I don't see enough left wingers out there for the club to be like, okay, we're gonna spend, I don't know, 20, 30, 35, 40 million euros on him to replace Chiesa. So but at the end of the day, I still think he's gonna sign that 1 year deal. I wouldn't be shocked, but I still think that's gonna happen at this moment in time. The winger market is very dull. Not too many players we can afford. Also agree. He rejected Prem last year. He did, but if we're not going to offer him the wages, and again, we don't know what the difference is. Has anyone seen a report where the difference has been reported? Like, we are offering 5.5 and he wants 8. Like, there's nothing out there. So we're just going off the idea that there is a gap, but we don't know if it's a big gap, if Chiesa is asking for crazy money, if the club is offering quote unquote embarrassing money. We don't know. He will sign an extension at the same wage. No one is paying him more. I don't buy any of the MOTTA doesn't want him. It's all agent prop. The MOTTA doesn't want him. I agree. I don't get it as well. I'm not gonna lie. The part where you say about his agent, or somebody said about his agent using it, I kind of agree with that. But then again, the Premier League, they will pay that money, and we don't know what the club is offering him. So that also plays a part in it. We don't know. There's no reports suggesting the amount of money we're paying him. Oh my god. No Sule, Chiesa Jr. will be on our wings. MOTTA plays with 2 right wingers. Only time will tell. Is Xavi an official Man City player, or can we still hijack the deal? You can hijack the deal, but like, it's a City group. Girona is a City group, so I don't even know how you're gonna hijack a player from the same ownership. Like, you can, but if Man City wants Savio, he's going Man City. Even if it's on the final day, if it's on deadline day, like, they're owned by the same owner. So I'm not sure how you're gonna hijack that deal. If I'm being completely honest, it's not official, but it's very unlikely. If Man City want him, it's done. I think 2 players we definitely gonna get based on the links are Calafiori and Colt Miners. Yeah. Let me see. What about midfield? City doesn't have minutes for Savio. Maybe we get him on loan with option to buy. I saw City are trying to offload quite a lot of players. Grealish, which is probably very difficult to do. The guy they signed last summer in midfield from Wolves, is it Nunez? Phillips, they need to offload Phillips. Kovacic, I've seen. So they're going to make moves. Probably also moves that will kind of surprise you. So I don't know. Like, if City wants him, he's gone. Like, even if they don't give him minutes, he's gonna go City. Like, he's gonna go City. So I think it's done. Oscar Bob could be an option, but the Prem team will probably overpay. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna leave Man City as well, if I'm being honest. What's wrong with Chiesa? Oh my god. Rewind the stream after this, because we talked about it for 20 minutes. I'm not going to repeat it, otherwise it's going to be the same show. Okay, somebody asked about midfield, but I missed. I'm not sure where that comment went. But yeah, that's the Chiesa update. Other than that, it was quite a quiet day. Excuse me. Di Lorenzo popped up again in the morning, which I absolutely hate. Actually, usually I wake up depending on the workday, but today it's 6, and around 7:30 when I'm at work, first half hour at work, I open the newspapers, all three of them, and I saw the Di Lorenzo news, and my day was kind of ruined, because apparently, and it's apparently, we are offering him the same wages, so 3.5 million euros, and the same length of contract, 28. He has at Napoli to convince him to come. And I'm like, who are you convincing? Like, he told the world, his agent told the world, I'm gone. Like, you don't need to offer him the same wage. He told the world he's out of Napoli. So you don't need to offer him that money. You don't. You can say, we will take you if you want to leave, but we will give you, and I'm just saying, 27 on 2.8. Like, you're you're matching the offer for a player that told the world goodbye, goodbye. And even that, like, forget about the money. Like, he's 30 years old, like 28. That's just insane. Like, that's insane. Is he 30, by the way? I think he's 30. Like, he will be 33, 34 at the end of his contract on 3.5. That's ridiculous. That's insane. Like, I have an issue with Danilo being on that money and that age as well. Like, imagine adding Di Lorenzo to it, who already is dropped off, in my opinion. Even if he had a peak, like, he peaked for 1 year. Other than that, he's just an okay player. Not a 3.5 million euros until 28 type of player. Not a player you should be putting energy in, pay Napoli money. Like, he's not worth that. So every day I wake up and I see those rumors, I'm like, please, Conte, convince Di Lorenzo to stay. Please convince him to stay, because this is crazy. What's more believable, Di Lorenzo to Juve or Chiesa leaving? Di Lorenzo to Juve. I think that's more that's more realistic at this moment in time. It pains me, but yeah. Ali, would you take a risk with Rooney from Copenhagen with his ACL injury, super cheap and big talent, gambling? Is it a gamble? Depending on what they like. He was quoted at around 30 at the start of the season, so I'm not sure what he's being quoted at right now. But I don't think it's a risk if it's very cheap, But I'm not sure if we should put our energy in dealing with that as well right now. How on earth is Chiesa going to work in Conte's 3-5-2 system? What? Is Chiesa been linked to Napoli? Besides a Twitter troll putting that out there. I've not seen the links, to be honest. Yeah. When there's Thiago Santos available for not even... Yeah, I saw the Thiago Santos links to Milan, but that will make more sense for Milan because he will be following his coach, basically, like Calafiori is planning to do. So you cannot really, like, it's sad because I think that would be a good pickup. Not really, I don't think really a priority for the club right now, but it's just gonna go from, like, he's just gonna follow his coach at Lille to Milan, so it makes sense for him, like, for them, and for him. But for us, it's like 50 million is actually very cheap. He has been linked to Napoli. Which outlet linked Chiesa to Napoli? Like, I actually want to know now. And do not say Il Mattino or Spazio Napoli, like one of those sources, because I mean, you need to apologize to Julian, by the way. He's in the chat because the sources you linked him, they're not holding up apparently. I don't know what the name is of the source, but apparently, according to Julian, he's talking a lot of rubbish. If Chiesa leaves and goes to Roma or Napoli, it would be so stupid. I refuse to believe that. I believe that Giuntoli is waiting to see what Motta wants in regards to Chiesa. A 1-year deal will make the most sense, so Motta and Chiesa can both see what life is like working with each other. Yeah. I think, like I've said it a couple of weeks ago, I can see with certain players Motta wants to see in training. Maybe like a Barbieri or whatever. He wants a Barnicea. He wants to see them in training before he says, I want to keep him or we can move him on. Because these are players you can easily move on, even if it's on loan, whatever, you can do that. With Chiesa, I don't think he needs to see Chiesa. And like everybody in the world knows Chiesa. Motta knows Chiesa. So I don't think he needs to train him in preseason 2 weeks to say, I don't need him. Also, you cannot do that. And then in August, tell the world, okay, who wants to buy Chiesa? Like that, that's not that. But a 1 year deal, I agree with that part. You know, if both of them are like, okay, the club and Chiesa, like, let's see how this goes, and then we can talk about a long-term deal. It makes sense. It makes sense in that regard. I need to say, we literally didn't sign anyone yet. How did you figure he's not reliable? Well, ask Julian. I don't follow the source. I don't even know the name. But I saw the print screams, and yeah. Chiesa isn't going to Napoli or Roma. Let's be serious for 2 seconds. Chiesa is going to be 27 and he has barely played Champions League football. I wouldn't make nearly as much. Yeah, and even the money, the transfer fee we are trying to get, 40 million euros. We're not going to get that from Roma or Napoli. It's just not going to happen. Ali, can you please talk about the Douglas Luiz Thuram deal and please explain to us why Savio is linked to Juve, even though Fabrizio confirmed he will be a Man City player next season. So the Savio one, I have no idea. Like, I just don't have an idea why he's linked to us. I saw the Corriere dello Sport from page today, and they said he had a great season at Getafe. I'm like, yeah, buddy. Didn't play for Getafe, I think, but fine, you know. That's the reporting. That's the level of reporting right now. So that's why I never mentioned Savio on this channel, because he has been announced to Man City. So I don't get that. On the Douglas Luiz and Thuram deal, Julian sent me a comparison between Douglas Luiz and Thuram, and well, it's like for like. It's just like for like. One is younger, much younger, and one is apparently a lot cheaper as well. That's basically the difference between the two right now. So what happened to the chat? 1 sec. That's not okay. Yeah, that's that. But the Douglas Luiz thing is crazy. Like the Douglas, like I've seen a lot of reports about Aston Villa have FFP problems. Aston Villa want to get rid because they're not going to find an agreement with a new deal, and then he has 1 year left on his deal, whatever. I'm like, even if that's the situation, like Aston Villa have money, they play in the Premier League, they're playing Champions League football next season. It's weird to me to believe, I refuse to believe that Aston Villa is like, give us McKennie and 8 million euro and you can get Douglas Luiz. I refuse to believe that, because apparently Douglas Luiz is on 2.2 million euros, 2.5. That's less than McKennie is on right now. That's less than McKennie is demanding, by the way. And he is a better player than McKennie. Like, technically, he is a better player. Just all around, he's a better player than McKennie, you know? So I refuse to believe that story. I really refuse to believe that story right now. Like, maybe they want McKennie, but I refuse to believe they're like, yeah, take Douglas Luiz off our hands and give us 5 million or 8 million euros extra. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Let me see. I do not want to sign anyone from the Prem. All of them are way too overpriced. I agree, but according to the reports, he's not overpriced. So that's why I'm confused. And I agree with, like, Hanin says, the Mercato is not open yet. I get it. You know, it will be kind of slow, you know. You will have deals being done, but because of the Euros, it will be kind of slow. It will explode after the Euros, like, completely. But for now, it's just building up. And for us, it's more of which contract are we going to get done, yes or no, and which players are we going to put out for sale, basically. And some of them will be at the Euros, some of them will not be at the Euros, and it's for the club to figure out what they want to do. But it will be slow, because does Euros start on the 14th of of June? Is it the 14th of June? So in about 2 weeks, Euro starts. I don't see many deals getting done in 2 weeks. You know, maybe they will announce THIAGO Motta this week, and that's about it. You know, you're not gonna announce Calafiori while he's playing at the Euros. That's not gonna happen. You know, if you're gonna sign Calafiori, so it will be kind of slow before the Euros. Juve need a new president like Florentino Perez has money. He can spend a lot of money, but I agree with the way he does things. I do agree. You know. No way Aston Villa reject big money for Douglas Luiz from Arsenal last season, and then the very next summer decide McKennie is enough for Douglas Luiz. Yeah, unbelievable. When will the Serie A transfer market player value get updated? Hope never, because the club might get deducted points again if that happens. Because apparently, they use transfer market to value players, which is it's just hilarious. But that's that, I guess. But yeah, in other news, very slow Tuesday. Copa starts a week after, so Wes and Douglas swap could happen before. Doubt it. I doubt it. Like, no, it could happen if it's real, but I doubt it's real. Like, let me know in the chat, people. 60 people watching, only 20 likes, so that's embarrassing. So hit the like button now. Do it now. And then answer the question, does anyone want Douglas Luiz at the club? Regardless if McKennie is going to leave, or you're going to pay 8 million euros or 10 million euros or 50 million euros for Douglas Luiz, do you think he will be in addition to the squad, team, whatever you want to call it? Or are you like, no? Because I've seen different opinions, you know. I think he's got missed profile, you know. For some reason, because he's Brazilian, I saw people debating that, oh man, he's not a gifted Brazilian technician. I'm like, yeah, but nobody said he was, you know. It's not because he's Brazilian that he's that type of player. But he is a hardworking player. He has a decent shot on him, actually a good shot on him. And technically, he's well sounded. Like, he's not, I'm going to trip over the ball right here, or I'm going to walk it out. I cannot put in a cross. He's not that type of player. So I will take him. But again, it cannot be your Sal McKennie and you need to pay 25 million euros for him. Like that, then I'm like, no, just spend that money elsewhere. Just sell McKennie and use that money on your own accord. You know, not being forced to just receive a player because he's being offered to you. You know, very solid player. No, give me Tun, Locatelli, and Rabiot. Absolute good addition. We need experience, which he has. We need a 6. I don't want to see Locatelli, Rabiot next season again. Well, you're gonna see it, Spiros. Like, you're gonna see it. It was a report out there today that apparently, was it Sky Italia? I think it was Sky Italia, that Motta wants to see Barnechea, like I said a couple of minutes ago, before he makes a decision on Barnechea. I think Barnechea needs to stay. I don't think you're going to get a lot of money. That's worth enough. You know, that's worth it to actually move him on. Kind of the same for Junior. Like, I've seen Junior being quoted at 12 million. I'm like, is it really worth it? You know, is it not better to give him a deal and work it out? Because I think his value will rise if he actually plays more for the season. But with Barnechea, it's like 12 million euros being quoted. Like, is it really worth it? Same for Nonge, going to Antwerp for 8 million, or like not even, like 5 plus bonus. I'm like, do you really need 5 million euros? Like, can you just not loan him out and keep control on the player? For 5 million euros, you're going to take that risk. Same for Barnechea. I will keep him in the squad. I've also seen the reports that Fagioli wants to play or could play the regista role. Not that Motta's really fixated with that type of role, like Allegri is. I don't want to see Fagioli in that role, but Fagioli himself said that he can play that role and he envisions himself playing that role. So did Locatelli, you know, after that Italy game. I'm still not convinced that's the best position for him, but if he wants to do that, then hey, it is what it is. But I would keep Barnechea in the squad. I would, you know. Fagioli is going to play 6 next season, I believe. I have a feeling you're right. If you get him in a max swap for a low fee, you absolutely get him. Thuram is more of a dribbler and carrier. Enzo should stay. For me, if we keep the same midfield and just add Colt Miners as a starter, I don't like it. Like, if you sign Colt Miners, you're probably going to add one more for that, because if you're going to lose McKennie and Miretti is going to go out alone and Alcaraz is going back, you just need to get one more in. Roma and Inter are getting cut for Plusvalenza. Milan ownership in trouble. I will take the cardboard Scudetto. They're not gonna get punished for anything. It's just not gonna happen. Other people want to have a squad of 20-year-olds and win a Scudetto Disneyland World. Yeah, like I want experienced players, but like Di Lorenzo is an experienced player. That's the experienced player I do not want. There's a difference, and that's why I'm like, I'd rather sign a 20-year-old if you're giving me Di Lorenzo until 28. I'd just rather sign a random 20-year-old and hope he comes good. I don't want to have 1 or 2 good seasons of Di Lorenzo and then sitting there and be like, okay, now we need to pay his ass for 2 years, 7+ million. Like, no, we've done it enough. Cannot happen again. Who are your top 3 realistic signings you want at the club? I want at the club. I'm not gonna include Di Gregorio because I get the idea, but it's not a player. I'm just like, oh, please get him. Obviously Calafiori. I still want Zirkzee at the club. I believe it's realistic. And in midfield, I really like quote miners. I've said it many times, not just from the Atalanta days, but 60 million. It's a lot. Like, it's a lot of money, and that puts me off a little bit. I'm still gonna go quote miners because I believe he will come good. I really believe he will come good. For me, we need 2 new starters. I don't want to see Rabiot as slowing down play. Well, and if he's gonna sign a deal, he's gonna play. You're not gonna bench him on 7.5 million. Di Lorenzo only good thing is his leadership, which we like. Yeah, but we have Danilo for it, so I don't need 2 of them at the club, to be honest. Surely Cancelo will cost similar price to Di Lorenzo. City don't want him anymore. Why Di Lorenzo again? I don't want Cancelo at the club as well. Done. Griezmann, I will take Griezmann. if the quoted price is right for, what was it, 18 million euros, and his wage is very realistic, I will take him. I'm not gonna lie, because he's a very underrated player, and I still think he can play 3 high level years. 50 million release clause, like, that's crazy. Is it like, why is there a 50 million release clause in Griezmann's contract? Is that for every club? Is that before a period? That's crazy. Like, that's actually insane. Morata 12 million release clause as a backup striker is great. No, I like, if we bring Morata back one more time, I might quit this channel. Like, stop it. Like, stop doing these things. What are we? Like, how many times did we bring Morata back? Every time it's a loan, 1 more year, then gone back. Just please. I'd rather keep Milik. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't want to do this over and over again. What's done, it's done. We need to move on from these type of things. The past is the past. Build something new. I don't want to get linked to Morata anymore. I saw the links, but I refuse to acknowledge them right now. Yeah, we know, Julian. What other backup striker who scored 21 goals will get for 12 million? He scored 21 goals before January, and then he scored 0. And even if he scored 50 goals, I've said it many times, so I will be a hypocrite. I don't want old things back at the club. What's done, it's done. Do something new. Like, don't go back to the past. Do something new. Do something fresh. Stop doing the old things again, which got us in this situation in the first place, to be honest. Griezmann is unbelievable. He's exactly the experienced player we need. Yeah, it's not going to happen, by the way. But 50 million, like, I need to read the news. Like, why and when? Like, I'm not sure what happened. Like, what kind of deal is that? Like, what kind of contract was that? Very strange. But yeah, apparently it's real. So let's see who will go from probably a Premier League club. Griezmann can play and fit perfectly in MOTTA system. Where will Griezmann play? Attacking right wing. I would still take Zirkzee, by the way, long term. Where we will play, somebody saying hell no, Griezmann. He's been like, is Griezmann one of the most disrespected player in recent memory? Because nobody talks about him, because I don't know why. Because he never won the big trophy. The Champions League. But when you watch him for France, everybody talks about, look at Kante and look at Mbappe. But man, he's always on point on the big stage. He's always on point. It's not gonna happen. But like, if it's for 50 million, I'll do it for 2 years. I make exceptions for certain players. Excuse me. He's one of them. But it cannot be 5 years like the Di Lorenzo one on five and then stop. 60 for 60 million, 15 commission just isn't it. I don't think Bologna are asking for 60 million. Oh, you included the commission. Okay, my bad. I thought it was on top of the 60 million asking price. He's so good. This season was one of the best players in the world. Wake up, people. What happened? Like, Hanin tells people to wake up. Did something happen? Oh no, don't tag me in those things. Did something happen? Why do I need to wake up? I saw the tag Hanin, but I cannot use that guy as a source. I'm not gonna lie. Just because of the links. And I probably know where that source is coming from, where the news is coming from, so I cannot really go with it. The tweet is wild, by the way. Because they're in dreamland talking about Griezmann. Yeah, but we were in quote-unquote dreamland when we were talking about Di Maria 2 years ago. And it's not going to happen, obviously, but 50 million, it's crazy. Is a Sebaru Sepp guy, isn't it? He's an absolute fraud. No, it wasn't him. But yeah, Julian thinks he's a fraud as well. The most important thing I want to see next season is competition. If Rabiot is playing game in, game out without any reason, I will lose it. I agree. I think he got too comfortable this season, and that's why his performances completely dipped and became so stale in a negative way. That it was just frustrating to watch. Like, it was not fun to watch. It's frustrating to watch. It's pointless to watch. At one point, you were watching and you were like, okay, this is weird. I remember the game. Was it away? Was it away to Lazio, where he lost the ball, or like it was up in the air, and he just looked at it and he looked at Miretti and he was like, "You deal with it." When I'm like, dude, it's your possession to win back, and those were the type of moments he had this season where he just didn't go that extra mile. It was all flat. So I agree. Like, if I need to see Rabiot play 70% of the games next season, 75, I will actually lose it as well. That guy makes up news and makes us wait 19 hours like it's a movie. Yeah, those type of sources are like, when on Twitter you read something, I have big news at 11 p.m. or 12 p.m. It's bullshit. It's not a source. If news is news, if it's breaking, you drop it because you want to be first. You're not telling people at 1 a.m. or like at 1 p.m. to tune in 10 hours later because you have some breaking news. If it's breaking, it's not going to go under the radar for 10 hours. So it's Twitter, it's transfer season, and a lot of new accounts will pop up pretending to be sources. That's how it goes. It's just stay away from them. Just absolutely stay away from them. It's crazy. He played 90 minutes every game until Montero came in. Rabiot will cook under Monta, I believe. Hey, he's super lazy. He loses the ball and walks. Yeah, that's the frustrating part, because I agree with what Pirlo says, what Sadi said, what Allegri said, even Montero, that he has a big engine, and he has, but he doesn't show that. That's the frustrating part. He doesn't show the attributes he should be outshining players with, he doesn't show them consistently. That's the biggest issue with him. I would personally would not mind selling Bremer to fund the Mercato. I believe we can sign a center back for half the price. I can play just as good at Bremer in the back four. Thoughts, Ale? Hold that thought, because again, I recorded a video with a very good person, very insightful person. I will drop that the moment MOTTA gets announced. Excuse me. We talked about how MOTTA will integrate the players we have, and we have been linked with. And we touched on Bremer, and we touched on a back four and all those things. So I'm not going to spoil what has been said, but stay tuned for that video, because it was interesting, and I see the point people are making. My fear is that we are going to sell Bremer, and we're getting Calafiori, and we're going to keep Huijsen and Danilo, and that's about it. And that's not enough, in my opinion. You know, if you sell Bremer, you need to replace Bremer. And I don't want... I'm not saying if you sell Bremer, you need to replace him with a 60 million euro player. I'm not saying that, but it needs to be a good enough profile. You know, it cannot be... I don't know, I'm going to make it up, a Maguire type of moment, you know, like a player where you're like, what, you know, that's not it, you know, over the top, you know, not age-wise, but just not good enough, period, you know, so that cannot happen. But stay tuned for that. I probably will announce it. They will announce MOTTA this week, so I'll kind of drop this video the same day or the following day, which is a very good podcast. I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I really want this to happen because we need to fund the Mercato, and this way, for me, Bremer in the back four so far has been shaky. I think, yeah, one good game in the back four, and the other ones I kind of agree were... MOTTA getting announced tomorrow, I have no idea. Could be, could not be. Actually, I'm not really worried about that. He's gonna sign, and that's about it. If they announce it this week or they announce it a week before they start preseason, I don't really care. If I'm being completely honest, like the work has been done. You know, even transfer wise, they talked about it. I think that's very obvious. So the announcement, it's official, it's fun, but it's not really, really the main point. People. I'm almost an hour in. Actually, the idea was 25 minutes, but thanks everybody for tuning in. Like the video if you haven't. I'm going to go for another 5 minutes. So if you have a question or something you want to discuss, put it in the chat, because I'm going to wrap it up in 5 minutes. Yeah. I saw another comment earlier on that I kind of skipped. Let me see if I can find it back. No. I lost the comment. Do you think Miretti will get a chance or will be sold before preseason? I think he's gone. I think we will loan him out. I think we will loan him out. So I don't think he's gonna get a chance to show off in preseason or show anything in preseason. I think we will loan him out. How many trophies will Juve win next year? You can ask me that 1st of September when the Mercato is closed. Not now. As of now, I'm gonna say 0. So ask me again in August or September. 1st of September, I will do a preview show, maybe with Julian, because that's how we usually do it. So I'll try to have him on, do a preview, and then we will make our predictions. But as of now, yeah, it's way too early. I think it's way too early. Motta's on vacation. He is on vacation. I saw the reports that... Was he in Lisbon? Is he in Lisbon? That is like it's sad. It's just signing the paper and that's about it. You know, the work, transfer talks, all those things, they've been done way in advance, you know, since apparently January. That's why Allegri got pissed. So I wouldn't be worrying about that if I'm being completely honest. Like my biggest worry is that we start preseason and we still do not have our key players in or sold. You know, that we go 2 weeks before the start of the season and you still do not have cope miners who eventually will join, but you're going to miss them for the first couple of weeks. Like that cannot be the case. That can absolutely not be the case this season. So let's see, Juntuli, do your job, but you need to get your main guys in way in advance this season. You absolutely do. Yeah, tactical videos coming out soon. Thanks, Lucas. I look forward to the videos and lives every day. Yeah, it's June, so I'm trying to do live almost every single day from now, so stay tuned for that. It will pick up um, starting the Euros, apparently. If I'm not mistaken, Marzio will do his shows at 11:30 p.m. So that's about an hour after the last game finished at the Euros. Then they will do the shows. Then I think the news will more pick up as well, because he will speak live, so we have more news to report rather than snippets here and there. Will you do more call-ins? They will come back as well. Hopefully, the first one will be back this week. I need to see my schedule, but the call-ins are not gone. They will be back, especially this summer. Juntili will work fast, as this is his first year to work with the Mercato for Juve. I agree with Sharon. Comments on Bremer. Yeah, let's see what Juntili will do. It's a big task ahead, but again, he first needs to resolve, obviously, the Rabiot one, the Chiesa one, the McKennie one. Those are the things that need to be done really quickly, and apparently also the Chesney one, because you're gonna sign Di Gregorio. The players like Arthur, like those are deals that are gonna take ages. Barnechea, those are deals, if you want to move them on, you can move them on quickly. Sule, I think that's a deal you can wrap up really soon, or like really quickly, swiftly. However, I think the club will see it out and see how many offers will come in, if there's a bidding war, something like that. But the incomings, if Calafiori is your main target, needs to be done quickly. If you want Di Gregorio, it needs to be done quickly. If you want Colt Miners, it needs to be done quickly. Like, again, mid-August, you cannot do that. Also because Atalanta are not going to sell mid-August. But like, in terms of getting your main guys in, it needs to be as soon as possible. Out of 100%, what's the percentage of Thuram joining Juve? I have no idea. Like, the links are not strong right now, or like not as strong to suggest that we're really, really going for him as a main guy. I think it's more so of could be a good opportunity, more so than, or rather than he is the main target. Let's go for Thuram. So 15. I don't know. I'll have 3 names. Somebody asked me that question. Servinam said Calafiori, Koeman, and Zirkzee. A lot of money, but if the sales go through, then I think it's realistic. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna wrap this one up, people. Thanks everyone for joining. Like the video, subscribe. I will be back live tomorrow with a guest, so stay tuned for that. On Wednesday, Steve is back for Pitch Talk, which is a new show. We're gonna talk about all football, not just Juve, obviously Juve as well. And then the tactical video the day after MOTTA has been announced. So let's wait and see when MOTTA will get announced, and then I'll put that one out for sure. But that's it for me, people. Again, thanks for watching, and I will speak to you guys